So my name is Vishal and I live in Bangalore. So just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I've been in digital marketing for a number of years, I think about 8 years or 9 years now. Before that, and today's session is on LinkedIn. So we are going to cover why LinkedIn is important, how it works, and 5 things you can do today to convert your LinkedIn presence into a social selling machine. And why I call it social selling machine is LinkedIn is by far the most effective lead generation engine for B2B selling, meaning if you're selling to another business or you're selling to another small business, LinkedIn is the number one channel. And for a lot of consumer products, uh, also, LinkedIn is a very effective sales channel. And above all, we all are on LinkedIn. Everybody is a professional. You all are working somewhere, or I don't know everybody's background, but uh, I'm sure most of you are working, or even if you're in college, you have an online presence on LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is something all of us use every day, probably. If not, then you should. And that's why I chose this topic. And because I think it will be very useful to you personally in managing your own careers, even if you not for your business, the companies you work for, the businesses that you own, if you are a business owner. So let's get started. Let's start with why LinkedIn is important. So let's get started with what is LinkedIn. I'm sure all of you use LinkedIn. I'm not 100% sure how many of you use it effectively, right? So uh, why don't you start, typing away maybe in the question thing or in the chat bar, what you think is LinkedIn? Yeah, I know it's a yeah. So everybody knows it's a social network. Yes, it's a professional social network. Yes, uh, but you know what? It's more than just a professional social network. It's really pure professional uh, online presence. It's a yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a social media platform. Yeah, not just to find job opportunities, but for a lot of other things, right? As we'll cover here. And like I said, it's not just a social media platform. It's virtually your professional resume, right? Your professional presence on the web. If you're whether you are representing a company or yourself, LinkedIn is your a social professional avatar, right? So start treating it that way. Don't just think of it as a social media. Think of it as your the centerpiece of your career today. So why do I call it a social selling platform? Is like you said, Dipti, it's a great place to find jobs. So yes, in one way it's a personal selling platform in the sense that you are selling yourself to recruiters. Thank you, Suresh, for your message. Thank you. Um, so, like I was saying, the social I call it social selling platform because it is a social platform and but it's fundamentally a selling platform. So you are on LinkedIn because you want looking for a better career opportunity, a better job offer, or you are on LinkedIn to connect with other people so you can sell to them, uh, right? Or you can learn from them, right? So there's also the learning piece that I will briefly touch upon today. But we all need to start treating LinkedIn as a social selling platform to sell ourselves for a career or to sell our products and services, right? And like I said, it's the most effective when it comes to selling to businesses, other businesses, which means it's the most effective platform for you to sell yourself for any career or job opportunities as well, right? The funny thing is that I'm not sure about the exact numbers in India, but in the US today, LinkedIn is if you are not on LinkedIn, you probably will not get any job offer. Nobody will call you for an interview anymore. And most of the important jobs are filled using LinkedIn. if that is the starting point. It's not that it gets you the job, but it does get you in the reckoning, right? And like I said, it's the best platform for generating business to business leads, right? If you compare LinkedIn with Facebook or Twitter, LinkedIn traffic converts the best. When I say converts, it means if 100 people come to your website, how many of them become a lead for you, right? So if 100 people were to come to your site from LinkedIn, approximately three leads, three will convert into a lead. But the same number would be less than 1% for a Facebook visitor, and probably 1 in 300 for Twitter. Right? So if you get 300 people to come, not one, maybe two in 300, right? So it's 0.7%. So if you just see the impact it has in terms of effectiveness, it's great. And part of the reason why it is so effective is because people on LinkedIn are already in a professional mood, right? So when you're on LinkedIn, you're not looking to chat with people, right? You're on LinkedIn because you're looking for something constructive. You're probably trying to catch up professionally. You're trying to read up on new stuff in your area, or you're trying to connect with other professionals who can help you further your career, or you're trying to sell yourself. So everybody is there in a business mood. So when people visit another site, I'll come to that. Okay. So Gunjan is asking what is the source of this data. The source of this data, so there are two separate data, right? So on the left hand side you see the bars, and the right hand side you see the pie chart, right? So both the piece of data is are coming primarily from HubSpot, which is a inbound marketing company, and they do a lot of research around there, right? Uh, I can see a lot of questions popping up, and I'll try to address them as soon as I can. Okay, but so I'll keep taking them at the appropriate place if that's okay. Okay, because some of them are sort of jumping ahead, and some of them can be a nice segue into the other sections that as we go along, right? So okay, so this slide I put up only just to illustrate that LinkedIn is really important if you want to sell online. Okay, so here's what you can do on LinkedIn. We already talked about that. You can find jobs, right? You can generate leads, and you can find partners and distributors and franchisees for your business. So here's the interesting stuff, right? I don't look for a job because I'm an entrepreneur. I run my own business. I advise companies, but I'm not looking for a job, and still I get lots of offers, right? So last month, I got 3 interview offers, right, from fairly large companies looking to hire digital marketing people. Right? I'm not looking for a job, but it's coming in my inbox, right? And uh, the funny thing is, I'm not even trying very hard to generate leads for my business on LinkedIn, and still I get 1 or 2 leads every week. Not all of them convert, but they're leads nonetheless, right? And my own clients generate, some of them generate like 200 leads every week on LinkedIn, right? So it's a huge platform when it comes to social selling, right? And these leads are, like I said, very convert much better than any other source. And a lot of companies, especially larger companies, use LinkedIn for finding distributors or partners, or when companies are looking to enter new geographies. Maybe a US company looking to enter India, they'll look for a potential partner through LinkedIn, and they'll reach out to you. A lot of people find franchises through LinkedIn, so they can either advertise on LinkedIn or just reach out to them directly. Okay, so there's a question about the leads. Okay, the lead is basically somebody who has contacted you, who has reached out to you, showing an interest in your product, in buying your product or service. Right. So for example, I sell digital marketing service. Right. I'm a consultant. So if somebody approaches me saying, "Hey Vishal, I run this business and I'm looking for help with digital marketing. How can you help me grow my online sales?" Right. So that's a lead. Right? A lead for example, there's a call. There could be MBA college, right? So the MBA college, for the MBA college lead would be someone who maybe fills out a form and says, yeah, I'm interested in doing this MBA, here's my email, here's my phone number, contact me for more details, right? So there are different kinds of leads depending on different kind of businesses, but lead is essentially somebody who is interested in buying your product or service. And okay, the other question is about the ads. So yeah, some of the leads are generated through ads, some of the leads are not generated through ads. So it's always a mix. Okay. So yeah, on surface, LinkedIn advertising is very expensive, and that's what everybody will tell you, and that's what I also initially thought when I started on LinkedIn. But then there are ways to bring down your cost, and because the LinkedIn traffic converts much better. So, for example, let's say uh, you pay 100 rupees to send 100 people from Facebook to your site, okay, and none of them will convert. So you need to send probably 150 people. You spend 150 rupees, and one of them will convert into a lead. But the same thing will be, if you can send three people, 100 people and 150 rupees from LinkedIn, there'll be three people, but you'll probably not be able to send 150 people from LinkedIn. So you'll probably send maybe 50 people, right? And then again, out of 50, one and a half will convert into a lead. So you're still getting, for same money, a little bit more leads. And from, again, there's a conversion from lead to sale, right? So not everybody who contacts you to buy your product or service is going to end up buying, right? So, but again, the LinkedIn leads are far better compared to other sources. So they convert probably twice as much as a lead from Facebook, especially if you're selling business or certain kind of services like it's a college and they're trying to convert people, trying to get people to join a program, say, an MBA program or an engineering program or something like that. So I will look at paid. I'm not going to cover paid in this presentation though, but I'll briefly touch upon that. But today I wanted to show you that, and that's why that I kept the topic as 5 things you can do today, right? So these are things you don't need to spend any money on, right? You can start doing it right now. Just as you finish the webinar, you can start doing some of this stuff, right? Now, let me show you how LinkedIn works, and I think that will answer some of the questions that are hanging out there. Okay. So there are two ways you can reach people on LinkedIn. There's inbound and there's outbound. Outbound is basically advertisements, or you sending out email to people. So either you show people advertisement, hey, we sell this product and service. Are you interested? Click here, right? On LinkedIn, you can also send people emails, right? You can send people, you can buy those email introductions from LinkedIn, or you can just, find people, you can just send email out to people you want to connect with, right? So you can do both of that, and that's outbound, but that's not the focus of our discussion today, right? We're going to focus more on the inbound side, and inbound can also be paid, by the way, right? So you can drive people to your um, articles by advertising on LinkedIn, for example, right? So we'll keep that out. But we'll focus primarily on two kinds of inbound things. One is the search and the other is discovery. So what do I mean by search and what do I mean by discovery? Okay. When you're on LinkedIn, you'll see, at the top, there's a big search box, right? So can you see my screen? So here is at the top there's a search box, and you can search, right? So for example, let's say uh, you are trying to find somebody who is good in digital marketing, right? And for whatever reason, you want to consult, you want to you know reach out to them, you just want to ask a few questions, whatever, right? So you do a search, and then you can see, and there are kind of stuff, right? So there are people, there are groups, there are companies. Because you're interested in finding people, you click on people, and then you can see there's a bunch of people here, right here. I'm there. Now, one of the things you have to do is, and as you go down, there'll be there's like says 10 pages here, right? So it works, more or less like Google. You go to Google, search on Google, whatever you see on page 1, you're more likely to click on. Sometimes you might go to page 2 if you don't find enough good information on page 1. But you're not going to go to page 10 in any search result, right? And LinkedIn works, approximately the same way. All the people do go down as deep as page 3, but on LinkedIn, if you don't show up in the first 3 pages of search result, people will find it very difficult to to locate you with your skills. Okay, and that's the first thing. So that's what I mean by search, right? And the other piece is discovery, right? So the discovery, what I mean by discovery is you've seen a lot of people publishing posts, sharing content on LinkedIn, right? And so I post something, a friend of mine or a connection of mine likes it, he clicks like or he comments on it, right? And then it flows into his friend's newsfeed, and then another friend of his like it, and she comments on it, and then it feeds into her friends list. So the content, whatever I wrote, it keeps getting propagated, and new people see it. So people are discovering me through my content, what I'm writing there, right? These two, the search and discovery are the two primary mechanisms for people to find you on LinkedIn, right? And those are the two things as an individual you need to focus on. And when you start talking about business, you need to focus on the paid as well. Okay? So you need to supplement whatever you're doing, in discovery and search area. You need to supplement that with some advertising money. Okay. Again, I mean, depends how much money and all that. Budget depends on how much money you got to spend, what you're selling, and all that stuff. But most companies will put some amount of money on LinkedIn ads. Okay. So the best way to use discovery, Purnima, is site content that people find interesting, and then that gets propagated because people like, they'll comment, they'll share, and the more people see it, the more people discover you. But discovery is somewhat like ads you see on TV. The first time you see an ad, you may like, but you'll forget about it after 2 days, right? And that's why you keep seeing the same ads over and over again on TV, because they want to make sure you see it enough times so you remember it. So when you walk into a store, you remember, I saw this ad, and you see, about some product, and you ask for that product, right? That's the whole reason why you see so many ads. And LinkedIn discovery works the same way. So you write one piece of article, it's good, people see it, they share it, but they'll forget about it, right? And they'll forget your name. They may not register your name. But if you keep doing it over a period of time, and people keep seeing it repeatedly, then people start associating your name with what they see. Okay? So you keep writing about one particular topic, one particular subject, and if I see it 2, 3 times something from you, then it starts sticking in my brain, right? Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. You can post articles free of cost. There's no charge for posting articles, okay? But if you want to promote it using ads, you pay. But there's no charge for posting article, and if you write good stuff, there's no need to put money behind it. Okay, most of the time. Okay, we will come to LinkedIn site as well. Okay, so like I said, our focus today is on free inbound options, right? So what can we do? The first thing you have to understand before I'll go to the website, but I want you to I'll go back to the website, but I want you to understand how LinkedIn search works. So this is the structure of the LinkedIn. So you have level 1 contacts, people who are directly connected to you. Then we have level 2 contacts, who are people who are connected to your level 1 contacts, and then you have level 3 contacts, who are people basically connected to your level 2 contacts, and then there's everybody else, right? The universe, right? When you search on LinkedIn, okay, LinkedIn will prioritize the listing based on your level 1, level 2, level 3, and then it goes to everyone else. What it means is, if a recruiter is searching for somebody with Java programming experience, she will see a list of people from level 1, level 2, then level 3, and then everyone else. Which means that the more, if you are at level 1 or level 2 of a large number of people, you are more likely to show up in somebody's search result. Simple. Okay. Which means you have to have a large number of connections, right? if you have large number of connections, then you have large number of level 1 contacts, and therefore you are level 2 contact for again a very much larger number of people, and even much bigger circle for level 3. And if I take you back to my search, right? Now look at the search. You can see that most people on this page are either on my level 1 contact or they are level 2 contact, right? There's hardly anybody here who I'm not connected with, right? I go on second page, I'll see the same stuff, right? See, everybody is the first or second level contact, right? So how do you? So first thing you have to do is you have to increase your circle on LinkedIn, okay? By connecting to people, okay? Uh, and how do you connect with people? All of us have college friends, people who work with us in different companies, so we can easily connect to them. We have friends and family. Anybody who you think connecting professionally makes sense, you should connect with them. A very important thing that people miss out on is joining groups that are relevant to your professional area. Okay. Um, why is that important? Is groups have large number of memberships. Okay. So a group can have 10,000, 20,000 members. So the moment you join a group, your all those 20,000 people become your level 1 group contact, right? So you are connected to them through group, and you will start showing up in the search results. Okay. So if you join groups which are relevant to you professionally, which means that they're related to your area, your product, your service you're selling, and those groups are those are active groups, and there are a large number of people, it'll grow your circle, right? And you'll be found in more and more search results. And that's why I say set aside 15 minutes in the day to expand your LinkedIn circle, right? So either you find people you want to connect to, you accept others' invitation if you want to connect to them, or you find groups you can join. Okay. The important thing is you should be discreet about who you connect with. So connect with people who are relevant to you, to your profession. Uh, they will get a lot of spammy connection requests. Don't connect with everybody who sends you connect. Be careful who you connect with, because while it sounds a little bit obnoxious, the quality of your connections is extremely important. Okay. And I if I do my LinkedIn reach, I've got about in level 3. If I just see, I have 27 million connects. Okay, so I 27 million people can reach out to me, or I can find 27 million people whenever I search LinkedIn, right? And that's because I've got a lot of level 1 contacts, a lot of people who have huge networks themselves. Okay, so it's very important who you connect with. And that's why it's also important to reach out to influencers. Okay, so influencer, who is an influencer? Okay, influencer is anybody, if you go on LinkedIn and uh, uh, you'll see a lot of posts coming out, right? And you'll see a lot of posts will be written by there'll be an influencer thing next to the author name, which shows that this person is a LinkedIn influencer. Basically, whenever this person does something, a lot of people react to it, right? But beyond that, influencers are also people who are already well known in your field. Okay, for example, if you are say in sales, you know, say IT sales, right? You can find people who are influencers in the sales area, right? Or people who are influencers because they are selling IT sales, they are selling solution, maybe you're selling ERP solution. So there are people who are sort of expert consultants in ERP, right? So they are influencers. They may not be ranked as influencer on LinkedIn, but they're still influencer in the real business world, right? So connecting with them is really important. And what I have found is that most of the time, if you be honest with them and send them a request, tell them why you want to connect with them. You know, they are very open to accepting new connections, even if they don't know you personally. they'll be open to accepting your connection. And I've got a whole bunch of people who are connected to me through that. Okay, I didn't know them personally, but I reached out to them because and I explained to them why I want to connect, and they all accepted. Okay, so I have about 950 connections and 20 groups or so that I'm member of, and my level one reach itself is about 2 million. Right? So if I search, I'll get to 27 or 28 million across LinkedIn. So that's a huge number, right? And so I can reach out to so many people, and they can reach out to me, right? So the important thing is they can also find me. Okay, so yeah, so it's not that easy to understand how who your level two and level three connections are. Okay, um, so earlier days, LinkedIn used to show right how your LinkedIn stats. So it will show you who is your level one contact, who is your level two contact, and how many are there, kind of stuff. Okay, but it no longer does that. So there are other indirect ways of finding that out. So remember, I did a search, right? So I'll show you. These are like approximate ways of finding out how big your contact is. So okay, in the meantime, there's another one how to find influencers, right? Let me yeah. So you see this 61 million. Now this is how many searches is performed for people, right? Now you can restrict. I can start restricting people by group and level, and how they're connected to me and all that, and then I can start narrowing down this result and see how big my circle is, right? So you will never know exact count of how many people are there, but you get approximate idea about how big or small your network is. Okay. So the other thing is the influencer. So let me just quickly show you how to find influencer. Uh, okay, I can't find any of those posts here right now, but trying to get you an easy way of getting there because there's no direct way to find who is an influencer here. Okay. Okay. Let me just do this. See, if you just do, influencers, you'll get a lot of influencers, LinkedIn influencers. But the important thing is to find an influencer who is uh, in your area, and the best way to that is actually to go to that's what I was trying to do to find a post, the LinkedIn post, a blog in your area, and then drill down and see. You'll find people who are influencers. You can see most popular posts, and most popular posts are generally written by uh, influencers on LinkedIn. So yeah, so see, I clicked on that, and now so you can normally identify an influencer. This is what I was looking to show you. So this lady Tara Hunt. So she's an influencer. You can see this symbol. So anytime you see this symbol in front of anybody on LinkedIn, he or she is an influencer on LinkedIn. Okay, so that's LinkedIn influencer. Okay. Gunjan, no, I'm not a paid user, so you'll get the third plus everyone. Sometimes it shows, sometimes it doesn't show, depending on the matches it finds. Okay, so not to worry about it. Sometimes it will show you, sometimes it won't show you. Uh, So this is how you find the influencer. Anybody you see that in written in front of that name, that's an influencer. Okay. So let's look at the profile, right? And this is again a very important part of your thing, probably the most important part, right? So when you create your profile, uh, most people write profile the way they want. Okay, so you generate, oh, I'm sales consultant at company ABC. I am senior programmer at Infosys or whatever, right? That's the worst way to write your profile. People don't want to know who you are and what your job title is. People are interested in knowing how you can help them solve their problem. Okay, so when you create your profile, look for what your customer is going to look for, or if you're looking for a job, if that's your goal, think from the recruiter's point of view. What is the recruiter going to be looking for, and put that thing there. Okay, so think about their problem. What is the problem my customer, or my target audience is trying to solve? How can I help them? And then provide a proof. Maybe you have done something in the past, maybe you have not done that work, but you have done some course, right? So maybe you want to get into digital marketing and you don't have any hands-on experience. So you do a digital marketing course and then you put that certificate up there, right? So look, I've done this digital marketing certificate, so that's the proof, right? But the important thing is to create your profile from the point of view of your customer. Okay, and be specific. Who do you help and how do you help? As you can say, I help small business get online customers by creating websites. Let's say, right? So if you are a website developer, that's a great, you know, in headline to create. Now, in your profile, so this is my profile. Okay. Now, this part is called the headline. Okay, and most people will put their designation here and company, and don't do that. This is one line where you have to address your customer's problem. So what am I saying? I'm saying Vishal Srivastava is my name and digital marketing and personal branding consultant, helping small businesses and startups build brand and sell online. So I've identified who I help. I help small businesses, startups, and individuals because I'm doing personal branding, and I help them build brand and sell online. So that's how help them, right? Clear, short, and concise. Somebody comes and looks at this, okay, this guy does digital marketing, oh, he works with small business, I'm a large business, I'm not interested. Oh, I'm a small business, maybe I should connect with him, right? So that's the way it works. You've got to give your user what they are looking for, your target audience what they're looking for, right? So that's your headline, okay? The next piece, the most important piece is your summary here, okay? A lot of people don't write summary at all, and a lot of people write huge summary, okay? You should write about 10 to 12 sentences in your summary. One opening sentence followed by 3 or 4 paragraphs, 3 or 4 sentences each, together not more than 10 to 12 sentences. Okay. So what do you write in those 10 to 12 sentences is important, right? What you need to write there is, okay, I'll come to that in 1 minute. Huh? So, what is a good summary? The reason you are writing summary is you are summarizing your experience or your skills. Okay, so you're answering these three questions. Uh, how you're trying to provide proof of whatever you said in the headline, how you help them. Okay, the important thing is your customers or recruiters or anybody will be searching LinkedIn with a specific keyword. Okay, so I want to hire Java programmers. I search with Java programmers. Okay, I'm looking for somebody who can help me with develop a sales strategy for my company. I'm typing for sales strategy consultant. Okay, so what the terms or words you people use to search on LinkedIn are the keywords, and you have to make sure that your profile, your headline, those things have the right keywords in them. Otherwise, your profile will never be found. Okay, so if you're a student, for example, Dipti, right? So you're a student. Let's say you're doing an MBA and you are doing a specialization in marketing and you're looking for a marketing job. Your headline, your profile should clearly say include marketing executive, marketing consultant, whatever the kind of job that you're targeting. Okay, you're doing way masters in business analytics, so okay, great. So analytics is a great in demand stuff, right? So you should put in your headline, right? So uh, business analytics has to appear. Business analytics consultant, okay, has to appear, or business analytics uh, um, professional, right? You can't call yourself expert because you are still in college. So you say business analytics professional. Okay, and in your description, you make sure you put in the right keywords, so business analytics professional, and some of the tools or the key skills that are part of business analytics. You should mention, include those key skills in your profile. Um, So you create 3 or 4 paragraphs in your profile, and each paragraph should target one keyword. Your entire LinkedIn profile should not target more than 3 to 4 keywords, because otherwise it will become very spammy. Okay. So each paragraph include one keyword that you target. Mention it a couple of times in that paragraph. So you have profile with about 10, 12 sentences, 3 or 4 paragraphs, and you're targeting 3 or 4 keywords. Okay. Your headline is your elevator pitch, and that's why it should be short, sweet, and very focused. Okay, and must have the top keyword. So whatever is the most important keyword people will search with, that should be there in your headline. So another question is that some people might have more than one skill. So yeah, you will. I know the you might have be good with 10 things, but the LinkedIn is a place where you have to bring out the best in you, right? So what is it that that's the best in you? For example, I give an analogy of we are going to a very important party, okay, a wedding or something, right? You might could look in you might have a very good physique. You might could look in jeans. You might could look in sherwani. You might could look in trousers. But when you're going to the party, you want to be your absolute best, right? So you'll choose your dress very carefully. What do I look good in everything, but what is it that makes me look the best, right? So focus on that uh, in your LinkedIn profile. Pick top 2 or 3 or maximum 4 skills that you're really really good at, that you can back up with properly. Okay, and yeah, proof will come. So proof is basically you list you highlight in your profile, in your summary and in your experience section, you highlight what you have done in that area. So what projects you worked on, what kind of job you did, which client, maybe your finance, you said, your budgeting is your skill, right? So you can talk about how many years you've been doing, how you have been helping your CFO create budget and all that stuff. Okay, so you basically proof is basically you're telling them, hey, look, I'm claiming I'm good at this, and this is where I've done these kind of works in this area, and that's why I'm claiming I'm good. Okay, so it's not like you basically are going there and saying, okay, look, I've done, I helped this client increase sales by so much. I helped this customer save so much. I wrote in a program. I'm a programmer and I've written 5 different programs. I worked on 5 different, uh, you know, you know, this kind of applications, and you list out the application and say what you've done, right? Contribution all the time, for making sure that you're putting in the right keywords so people can find you. That's for your profile. So again, the summary should, like I said, should not be too big, but should be about 3 to 4 paragraphs, 3 to 4 sentences each. And you should not miss any job position. You should fill in every job you have held, even if it is for 2 months or 3 months or 10 months. Okay, because you don't want to show a gap in an employment. Because if you show a gap, if people, the recruiters especially, look on LinkedIn and they see, okay, how have you progressed, where have you worked, and if they see a gap, they're going to come back and say, hey, they'll either not call you because they think that there's a gap that does not explain what you did, or they might come back and ask you to fill that gap. So they'll say, what did you do there? So you don't want that to happen in the beginning of your conversation, right? So you want to make sure that you've listed all your jobs. If you don't have experience, maybe you have done a course, right? So maybe you have done a course, you studied something. Yeah, so maybe you have worked a few months at a job, right? So don't miss that. Put that there and highlight what you achieved. Okay, because if you don't, then there's a gap, and it's hard, especially in India. It's very hard to fill gaps. Recruiters are really really finicky about people not having gaps in jobs. So that's important there. Okay. Even if you did just one thing, maybe you were 2 months you were in sales and you did one sale, that's fine. Write that down. Okay. You're in programming and you wrote one program. Write that down. I wrote this program. That's it. But make sure you cover everything. Okay, no gaps. And you can use bullet lists to to list your responsibilities. Not a problem. You don't have to write. What you have to make sure is that it's easy to read. If you write too much of verbiage, too many words and paragraphs and sentences, people can't read it properly, so they won't get what you're saying. So make sure your experience, you create more of a bullet points or very short 2-3 sentences in every experience to cover it properly. Okay. The next step, right? Now here is the key thing, and because I'm a consultant and I help others do it, so I keep playing around with my profile. So I'll keep my profile, a lot of things changing in my profile because I am trying to learn and do different things and see what works and what doesn't work. Okay. Um, Having a profile image is the most important thing. And what I did, I tried different kind of photos and all that. But what I learned is that if the right image is 10 times more effective than a good image or average image. Okay. And why I say that is, I'll show you. I think probably, yeah. So this is my current profile image. Okay. It's uh, it's what I call uh, close to perfect image for LinkedIn. Because it has all the different elements that needs to be there. And after I came up with, and I had nice, good, professional-looking photos before that. Some casual photos, semi-professional, all kind of stuff. After I put this, within 1 week, I got so many connection requests and so many leads requests from people that I was surprised. And nothing changed, just the image. And then I tried it with some of my clients in the same stuff, right? Same thing. So it's if everything is same, just having the right photo can make a huge difference to your ability to generate sales or find a new job offer or anything like that, right? So what is the photo need? It needs to have a headshot. When I say headshot, this is what I mean. Headshot. Okay, only up to this point, not full. Should look professional and friendly. So smile, right? Like I'm smiling there, right? So if you look professional and friendly, it builds trust and confidence because people think, okay, this guy knows. I mean, he looks like a solid guy. Okay. For men, light color shirt with dark jacket works, always works. Other things might work, but this thing always works. And not having tie is actually better because tie somehow makes you look feel more formal and stiff. So not having tie, like in this case, I'm not having a tie, then coming across as professional but not stiff, right? Friendly, and that is why I think that this kind of images work. Okay, and again, you see, I'm looking at an angle. I'm not. It's not this front shot. Front shot it looks very flat. When you do like I'm doing, I'm sitting at an angle and then looking at the camera. It gives a depth to the image that makes it more lively, and that's why it works, right? So it's a it's one of the most important thing, and this is the effect I had, right? 3 days, 30 connections, 9 leads, 5 sales. Nothing changed, just this photograph. Can you believe that? So how you look and how you project yourself has a huge, huge impact, right? We all know that. And LinkedIn is no different. Okay. So make sure your profile is good, professional, but make sure you have the right image. I spent in Bangalore, I spent about I think $2,000 on this. But if you live outside India, maybe in your US or somewhere, it will cost you maybe $200, right? But it's worth the money. See, I spent about $30, like 2,000 rupees, right? I got 3 speaking assignments, which resulted in sales. I got direct sales, and in the first month itself, this was the total billing, right? Plus, I got 30 extra contacts, 30 new contacts because of this. Now, you can see, this 10K figure divided by 30, you can see what is the return on my investment. No, never put numerical. So somebody is asking, I think Purnima is asking if we should uh, put numerical with the name. Never put numerical. Okay, they don't look professional and they don't work on LinkedIn. Okay? Put your first name, last name. you have the same first name, last name, that's fine. Just put one name or just put comma and comma. A lot of people have same first name and last name, and there's not a problem. Okay. Uh, in US, if you just do a Google, with the city name plus uh, LinkedIn photographer, you'll get a studio which does text photographs, and these guys generally specialize. So you can find it's every city in the US today has a studio, a bunch of studios who specialize in LinkedIn shots, and they'll give you $200, $500, depending on how much you are willing to spend. They'll give you shots. Okay. Number 4 for photographs. So in US, you can any city you just Google the city name and LinkedIn headshot, and you'll see the result. You'll find bunch of studios or independent photographers who are doing that. Okay, in uh, in India, in any of the cities you go to, at least in the bigger cities, if you go to a studio that takes and just tell them I want a headshot taken, a professional headshot, and ask them to show you the portfolio they might have taken headshot earlier, and they'll show, they'll flip through, just look through what they have taken and select something that works for you. Okay. So it's but you'll have to spend some money, but I think the money is well worth it. If the returns are phenomenal if you take the right image. Endorsements and connects are important. So what do I mean by endorsement is on LinkedIn, every time you sign in, suddenly it'll ask you to endorse somebody right? So it'll say, hey, this guy uh, good in sales, so this guy good in something else, right? Uh, and it'll ask you to endorse. A lot of people don't do that. I always make it a point that I do that. Whenever I see, I'll make sure that I always do the right endorsements. If I know this guy is good, I'll do that. And why I do it is, okay, it doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't take me any effort. So I just click it and it benefits somebody. So why not do it? But there's another thing, okay? And here is why. When you endorse somebody, it builds a relationship. Because when you endorse, that guy gets notified. Okay, you know, somebody. So Purnima endorsed Deepthi, right? So Deepthi gets a notification. Hey, Purnima endorsed you for this case. Now Deepthi feels happy about it, right? A lot of people, especially on social network, keep a score. Okay, the score is obligation. If you endorse somebody, they will make sure they come back and endorse you or write you a recommendation because they want to get even with you. Okay, so you just endorse others. Don't ask for endorsement from others, but you'll see that you'll get lots of endorsements on your own because you're creating obligations and people want to pay back your obligation and they'll keep endorsing you. And even if nobody they don't endorse you, you still every time you endorse you get the other guy gets reminded about you. Okay, and sometimes they'll come and check your profile, and it helps build up the discovery part. It helps people get more familiar with who you are, what you're doing. The connect part is important. So when you see somebody wrote a post or somebody asked a question in the group, make sure you spend some time in group. So maybe 5 minutes on on a group a day. So in a week, maybe you can spend half an hour in a week. Look at some of the discussion. Interest. If you find something interesting, you can contribute. Even if your contribution could be just a comment, it could be just a like, or you could share. What it does is it keeps you active. People, every time you like or comment, others see your name. It's not just that people see somebody. If I write a post and you like it, people do see my thing, but everybody in your network sees it because you liked it, right? So they're reminded about you as well. So it keeps you fresh in people's memory, right? And every time you comment and like, people, it creates an obligation on others again. And so when you write your post or you write an article, others will make sure they respond to it and help propagate it. Okay, so the more you help others, so there's a saying, right? Givers gain. What goes around comes around, right? Again, I'm not sure that PPT about the PPT part. I think they'll put up the webinar recording up, but I'm not sure about the PPT. Okay. Um, So what goes around comes around. So what you give, you get back. So you give good, you get back good. You give bad, you get bad, and get back bad stuff, right? So good karma, bad karma. By endorsing others, by commenting, by helping others, you're getting good karma. It will come back to you, right? So you'll get back good karma. So make sure you answer questions in groups, and that keeps you active, that keeps you engaged, keeps your connections alive, and keeps getting obligation. And every time you write a comment, every time you write something, people will react to it, and LinkedIn. That's how LinkedIn builds up your profile, intelligence about you, right? So if you write, if somebody asks a sales question, uh, uh, you'll be you answer that question, and somebody comes and says, "Oh yeah, this is a great answer." That somebody likes it, somebody agrees with what you said. It builds up your profile on LinkedIn. Okay, so it's a it's a nice way of building up your profile as well. So remember endorsements. Whenever you see, make sure you give people endorsement. And the other thing you should do is when you come on LinkedIn, this side you'll see this 15 ways to keep in touch, right? It'll show some updates from people in your network, right? So if Rohit Mishra has a work anniversary, so you can like it, you can skip it, you can comment it. Now, make sure you do these things, every day, with a couple of people. You may not want to like or comment on everything. For example, he's a work anniversary, great. So I just like it. He's great. This guy has a new job, good. Like it. He's got a new job. It's a big event in his life, in his career. You like it, you remember it. So people, like being congratulated. They like when you comment on their stuff. Make sure you do this. Go through this every time you log in. Make sure you do a couple of things. So in a week you'll have created 10 or 12 interactions. So every time you interact, it keeps you fresh in your contacts memories. Right. So that's also important. People remember you. Right. So and many times they'll go and check out your profile because you commented, they would have forgotten who you are, and then when you comment or you like, they'll go and check your profile, and then they'll get refreshed about what you do, right? So that's all helping build up the discovery path, right? So like I said, uh, the thing is, why endorsements work is, on LinkedIn you can write endorsement, you can write you can endorse people, or you can like write recommendation, right? So now let's say if I go the profile is in anybody's profile, you scroll down, you'll see somebody in a client, or a manager, or somebody would have here, right? So they have written recommendations for her, right? And the great thing, I mean, you should try and get recommendations from people who you have worked with. But the thing is, people don't take those LinkedIn recommendations very seriously when you're looking for a job or trying to get sell somebody someone, and someone is doing a reference check. Because I have not seen any bad reference so far on LinkedIn. Nobody writes bad reference. So if you write bad reference, the receiver will not accept it, so it won't go on the profile, so it doesn't make any sense, right? So recommendations no longer work on LinkedIn from that point of view. They still help get your profile found because your recommendation has the right keywords. It helps in search ranking of your profile, but nothing beyond that, right? So what happens is, on LinkedIn, people generally will see who is in common with them. So I see I'm connected to somebody. I'm trying to hire that guy for a job, or for something. I'll see how am I connected to this guy. Find somebody who is in between us, or is connected to both of us, and ask that guy for recommendation, right, or feedback. And that guy may not remember. The people don't remember everybody and everything that we do, right? Because in LinkedIn, there's a lot of people who are superficial connections, right? They're not your real friends in the sense that you meet them very often, right? So how would they remember about you? If somebody came and asked, how would they remember, right? And these are these are little endorsements, likes, comments, answering questions, all those things keep reminding, hey, see, here I am, see, here I am, see, I'm connected, see, I'm doing this. And whenever you do something, people come back and look at your profile, and they become a little more familiar with you, right? So if somebody has gotten familiar with you, if somebody, third person comes and asks me for feedback, they say, you know what, I have not worked with her, personally, but I think she's good. I've seen her interact. I interacted with her a couple of times on LinkedIn, and I think she's good. Right? So staying in touch regularly with your network increases the odds that you will get a good recommendation, or people will reach out to you when they need help, when they want to hire somebody. Okay, so that's why it's very important to use your endorsements and comments. And I don't see a lot of people using these things judiciously. They think, if I do endorsement, I don't know if I should not. How will the other guy think? Am I doing the right endorsement? Don't worry about that. If I endorse, will the other guy endorse me back? Don't worry about it. Just go and do it. Spread the love, spread the good stuff. It will come back to you. Right? Uh, the final thing I want to cover is every once in a while write articles or posts on LinkedIn, and it's free, so you can just go to LinkedIn, like you can just come here, right, and then you can come to LinkedIn, and then if you see here, you publish a post, click on this and start writing your post. Okay, so you can write a headline, you can add an image, and you can do text, and you can do a image here. You can write all the stuff that you want. Right? So writing is easy, but making sure it succeeds is not easy. So most of the articles will reach 350 or 400 people. The really popular articles will reach a lot more, maybe 20,000, 30,000 people, right? But there are almost 30,000 articles are published on LinkedIn every day. So how do you stand out? Right? It's not easy to stand out. And how do you make your work seen by others? So I'll split the problem into two parts, right? So there's a part one is writing the content, the other is promoting the content. And I'll give you some general guidelines on how to write content. Um, you write list post. What is a list post? List post is basically things which say seven, like the title of this webinar, right? 5 things you can do today on LinkedIn to convert your profile into a social selling machine. 7 things you can do today to increase your sales effectiveness. 10 ways you can improve your programming skills. Whatever. List posts are extremely popular. Okay, and they have much higher viewership than any other type of post. So try and write list posts. If you can't write a list post, try how to post. Right. So how to are educational posts, right? You write how to create a video, or how to write a post on LinkedIn. Okay, so all those things are how to. You're telling people how to do something, a very micro level thing, and do it really well. Okay, those things are popular because people are on LinkedIn looking for this kind of content. Use these words, you and your, in the headline. Okay, and you can test here this site called. And so when you get PPT, you can click on this link and go to the site and test your headline. So whatever headline you create, you enter that and it will tell you the emotional value of your headline. Okay. What is emotional value? It basically tries to see how many emotional words and how important emotional words you are using in the headline. Because the more emotional your headline, the more likely that your article will go viral or will become popular. Okay. And you write posts which are more than 2,000 words in length. So these are the general things that you keep in mind when you're writing your post on LinkedIn. Okay. But once you have written it, you need to promote it. So if you just write and post it there and hope that it will work out, it won't. Right? You just throw it out and think people will find it and they'll read it. It's not going to happen. So after you have written your post, make sure you post it on your own timeline on LinkedIn, right? So you write it as a status update. And whenever you share anything on LinkedIn, make sure you write an introductory 2-3 sentence and then put the link to the article, okay, whatever you're sharing. Because if you just put the link, it won't be shared as much. But if you put introductory 2-3 sentences and then put the link to the article, it will be shared more because people can read your introduction, figure out what it is, and then go there. Okay, there are a couple of questions. So one was who owns LinkedIn? So LinkedIn is a publicly held company, it's a publicly traded company in the US. Okay, you can buy the stock in the stock market. just like Facebook or Google or any other company. Um, uh, Purnima, no, we don't have a quiz. This is just a learning session without any obligation. So there's no quiz here, right? Uh, there's no quiz yet. So I've been trying to answer as many questions as I can, given but I want to make sure that I don't overstretch the time too much. Okay. So you post on your timeline, share in all relevant groups. So maybe you're part of 10 groups, right? And three of the post you have written is relevant to three of them. Go share in those groups. And this is again where your social activities, whatever you did in the group earlier, will come to help you. So if others share their stuff and you commented on it, you asked questions, you liked it, when you go back and post your stuff in that same group, those people, make no mistake, will come back and like your post and share your post. Okay, they'll try and help you. And that is important because when you post something, you want others to like and share and comment, and that's the way it propagates, right? So when you like and comment and share other stuff, they do it when you post your stuff. Okay, and anything you post in group is more likely to be shared than what you post on your own status update. Simply because whatever you post in group, maybe 10,000 other people who are part of the group will get a notification about it, and therefore you might get more engagement there, and it's more chances of becoming shared more. You should also email your article, link to the article to your friends, colleagues, anybody who are connected, especially if you're connected to some influencers, people who are either LinkedIn influencers or business influencers outside. Email it to them. Say telling them you wrote this thing and something you might be interested in. If they like it and they share, it's going to go nuts. One influencer alone can make your article be seen by 10,000 people, right? So it's important that you reach out to people. Okay, you share it on Twitter. You tweet it if you're on Twitter, right? You can share it on Facebook as well if you want, right? And some always doesn't drive too much traffic from Facebook, but some you might find some interesting people coming from there. But do tweet it out and tweet it 4 or 5 times over a 2-day period. Okay, so just to make sure that you are covering all different times that people are active on Twitter. So there are a couple of more questions. I think some people have had having bad experience with sound quality. Don't see too many complaints of them. Yeah, I'm sorry about anybody having got a bad sound quality here. We try to be as good as possible, but sometimes we might have network issues, so that degrades the quality. So what we need to make sure is you share it multiple times on Twitter, because Twitter is very time sensitive. So you write on LinkedIn and share it wherever you can, right? As much as you can to make sure as many people see it as possible. Okay. Now, when you do that, when you write articles on LinkedIn, make sure you don't write the same article on your own personal blog if you have one. If you are running a personal blog anywhere on Blogspot or WordPress or your own website, don't reproduce the same blog on the two places, because if you do that, your own blog or website will get a penalty from Google. Okay, what the penalty is called, duplicate content penalty, which basically Google will look at the two pages. It will say, okay, the content on LinkedIn and the content on the blog post on your site or blog are the same, exactly same thing. They're duplicate of each other, and then it will think, which one is original? Hmm. LinkedIn seems to be original because LinkedIn is a more reputable site, right? So your personal blog or website cannot match the significance of LinkedIn in internet, right? So Google will always penalize your own blog or your own website as being a duplicate content, and it will force it rank. You lose your search ranking on Google for your website. Okay, so and this is a very common mistake people make. They'll write and post in on LinkedIn, and they'll go back and post it on their blog, or they'll create a blog on their site and go and post the entire thing as a new article on LinkedIn. And that's the worst thing you can do. Okay? So what I recommend is you write full article on LinkedIn and then share it on your blog post by writing like introductory 3-4 sentences, and then share the link to the article. When you write something on your blog post, you share it on LinkedIn, but again, share the link to the blog and write an introductory 2, 3, or 4 sentences. Okay. If you are very active and you write a lot, you can try to write 1 or 2 email posts on LinkedIn and the rest on your blog site, because at the end of the day, you want a lot of traffic to come to your own website also, right? So your blog will bring in your traffic to your website. So you want to write content in both the places. You want to make sure that on LinkedIn you're writing really good content and that is original, not duplicate of the stuff. And when you do write, you share it wherever you can. Okay. So the more you share, the more likely that more people will see it, and the more people that see it, the more effective, the more they will remember. Okay, so that brings me to the end of what I wanted to cover. I know we have had a lot of questions and I've tried to answer them. If you have any more questions, you can shoot them now. Okay, somebody asked a question, will adding photos of the technical certification help? Sure, it does. So it just proves that you have certification, right? Uh, you're welcome, Nimana. So, in fact, LinkedIn lets you import a lot of the certifications. So actually, let me see if I can show you that. Okay, it may be useful. So if I go to my profile, right, and let me see where's that. I'm trying to see. I'm just trying to show you how to import your certifications in LinkedIn. Where's that? Yeah, skills, endorsements, education. Yeah, yeah. The certifications, right? You can actually add certification. So you click on add certificate, and then you can name the certificate, right? So let's say somebody has done Java certification. So you write, let me see, Java certification, right? And you put Sun or Oracle as certification, and you can put license number, URL, and all, and then click on save, and it will add the certificate. And many companies have tied up with LinkedIn, so LinkedIn can import the certification. Like you say, here it has imported HubSpot, Google, Microsoft logos. So it can import your certificate image here. So just see if it is not there, then you can try adding an image. If you can't, if you don't find a certificate, you can, even if, yeah, if you really want to add an image, you can always add an image, right? Not a problem. But if you can add your certification like this, that's good. Okay, so yeah, of course, I mean, it's always good to learn new things, and there's a lot of stuff you can learn at Edureka. Digital marketing is one. Business analytics. There's a lot of different courses. You can go through the portal and see what interests you. Okay, yeah, in the certification section, I showed you, right, how to import the certificate. So you can't add a photo by yourself. It just imports the, so LinkedIn has a relationship with other certification, most of the certification companies. So you will pull in the certificate. If it is not there in the part, if your certificate is not part of LinkedIn in a partnership program, you can always add a photo in your profile. So yeah, you can go to the portal and see what courses you like. A lot of different courses there. So thank you so much everyone for staying up so late and taking out time from your busy schedules, more than an hour to attend this webinar. And I wish you all the best with whatever you are doing. Thank you.